Sunday. I'm going to just wait for people to come on in. Just going to wait for some people to come on in.
Tie game right now here in Kansas City, 10-10. Two other games going on around the National Football League in this late window. Arizona rolling, trying to get to 2-0 on the season. And the Broncos against Daniel Jones and the Colts in the good one, 21-20 is the count there. When we come back, we will have more from the early contest this week and get you all set for the second half of the Super Bowl rematch. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Even Steven at the break.
I am here. I am here.
Verizon Halftime Show is brought to you by Verizon, the NFL, powered by Verizon 5G.
Just going to wait for some of y'all to come on over. We had a few other lives going on, so I'm just going to wait for y'all to come on over.
Pick between Brad and Chad Forever.
Chad? Who's Chad? I'm Geez1of1. What do we got?
We're going to let it build a little bit. Let it build a little bit. Then we'll get started. Then we will get started. Shout out to the first person here today. Shout out to the first person here for the live today. We're just going to wait for a few more people to come in, and then we will get started. We will get started. Hey, Shy, how's it going? How is it going? This is kind of an impromptu live, so I'm just waiting a few minutes to get a few more people over, and it is steadily building, steadily building. So we got 13. We got 13, so we getting there. We getting there. Just wanted to let it build up before we got into today's topics and updates. So as always, thank you to everybody. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Everybody is filing in. Hello, hello, hello. And thank you for piling in on this Sunday evening. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Hello to everyone. I see some new people in the chat too. I see some new people in the chat. Yes, flooding in. Flooding in from Shears to Mika's. And shout out to Tamika. Shout out to Twan. Shout out to Darium. Shout out to Jen. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that is on their own health journey. GLP-1, no GLP-1. Yes, obesity warrior community, stand up. Stand up. Thank you for the new sub. I see Monica W. Monica W. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So without further ado, let's just get started. Let's jump right into what today's topics are. I didn't set an agenda because I wanted to kind of like continue on with the live question and answer I did last week, because we had quite a bit to discuss last week, and I feel like some people might have had questions that wasn't answered. So I am going to make sure. Hey, Joe, thank you for tuning in. So I do want to actually get into the chat to the topics that people actually wanted to hear about, right? I'll start with the Sunday update that I traditionally would do via video. I'm going to start with that, and I'm just going to go ahead, and then we'll go right into what the questions are within the chat, within the group. So in traditional fashion, I am going to introduce myself because I do see new subscribers. I am Geez1of1. my official name is Greg, so feel free to call me whichever one you like. I've been on this journey for a little more than 8 months. I started way back in I want to say almost 9 months now, I should say, way back in January, and I am actually down 82 pounds. I'm down 82 pounds in just 8 months, right? I've done that on the GLP-1 Zepbound, and also I'm on the 10 milligram. I just moved to that. I want to say this is my second week on the 10, and I'll get into why I did that in a minute. But I also do intermittent fasting, and I do resistance training. Lifting weights and traditionally walking, but doing certain exercises. So. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hey, Twan. Hey, Michelle. Hey, JC. Hey, KBD. Hey, everybody. Appreciate y'all for, spending some time with me today. So I was just getting into everyone that actually is not a new subscriber. They actually already know this, but I do like to go back a little bit and talk to those that do not know me. Okay. So that's why I started back with when I started, what GLP-1 that I'm on and where I am in the journey. So I'm just about 26% down from my baseline body starting weight. The reason I like to go with percentage is because a lot of people often talk about different weights, right? We got some people on here that lost 100 pounds, right? So you can go throughout the internet and see somebody lost 82 pounds like me, but to make it make sense, it's good to talk about percentages, right? Because when we talk about GLP-1s, which a lot of us are on, right? When we talk about GLP-1s, you have people that start at varying weights, right? And then GLP-1s promote weight loss via percentage, right? So Boston in the house, wow, 120 something, wow. That is crazy. Yes, so you have people that might have lost 150 pounds. I've seen guys that were probably 400 or 500 pounds on downsides that might have lost 200, something pounds. So you to make it make sense, I like to talk percentages, right? Because we're all varying sizes, and that's where you can kind of put some respect to the journey and what is accomplished, because it makes more sense to people, right? Zepbound is promoting 21% weight loss in 72 weeks, right? And that is the FDA approved best drug on the market right now. Now, of course, retatrutide is being used kind of off label and, via compound, right? So I know y'all see a lot of that on the internet now. But because it's not FDA approved, I just try to stick with Zepbound. But in the trials, retatrutide is seeing 24%, a little more than 24% in just 48 weeks, right? In just 48 weeks. So on my journey, I've actually superseded that by being 26% down now I'll say, since I'm saying 82 pounds, I'll say in 35 weeks, right? In 35 weeks, because I'm beginning my week 36, right? So if we were to go back to my 80 pound, I hit that kind of like week 30, right? Week 30. 75, I hit that quite a while ago, So either way, and again, if we want to go back to percentages, I superseded that 24% that retatrutide is promoting in a little more than 26 weeks. So this is why I feel like the journey for me has been amazing, because I've beat the percentage of the super FDA approved effective retatrutide, well, soon to be FDA approved. I think in the fall of next year, most likely, retatrutide's percentage, at least from the trials, already. So I like to just make it make sense, right? That's all. So that's a little bit about me. I thank you for coming over and subscribing to my channel. I was in Joe's live earlier with the coach that she was in the live with, and she had a few questions, and I want to address that while we on our live. Okay. So I think that the coach asked her, well, what are you gonna do if GLP-1s become unavailable, right? What are you gonna do if GLP-1s become unavailable to you personally for some reason, right? So I'll answer it two ways. One thing, right? One thing I would like to say is right now, I really do not believe that that's going to be an issue because the market for GLP-1 is only expanding, not decreasing, right? There are going to be a plethora of options, especially I would say 2 years from now, there will be a plethora of options available to people that want to continue or start a GLP-1 journey, right? FDA approved. Now, as far as compound is concerned, right, there will also be options available for people that way, right? So that's one side. I don't think they're going anywhere, And personally, if you can't afford the compound, right? You can't afford the brand, then I think that the compound is definitely something that you could probably look at if you can't get your hands on the brand, right? The other thing that you would do is all of the things that hey, Felicia, you would do all of the things that you did before GLP-1s became available, right? That's what you would do. You would do everything you were doing before, because what choice do you have at that point, right? So to me, I feel like questions like that are almost like saying, what if they locked all the gyms? You know what I'm saying? They said, hey, no one can use the gym anymore, right? What if they took away all exercise equipment, right? So that's how I kind of feel about those kind of, those questions. But I just wanted to address it because it was a question that Joe asked me earlier and I was actually leaving out. And then I'll address this and then I'm going to get to the chat and I'll go through and start answering questions over here. She also asked about comorbidities, right? And what some of those were. Now, and some of the things that GLP-1s, like Zepbound, are starting to become contraindicated for, Zepbound/Mounjaro, I should say, because we do have quite a few type 2 diabetics that are also on GLP-1s, Ozempic, Wegovy, what forth. And let me just also pause and say, anything that I'm saying here, I'm not your physician, so I want you to actually do your own research, and I'm just saying things based on my own experience. Okay, so I do want to put that out there. So comorbidities, I'll start with mine, right? So just to go back for anybody who don't know or never have visited my channel, I had an appointment, with my doctor, right? And my doctor said to me, there was a 7 out of 10 chance that I could have a heart attack in less than 10 years, right? There's a test that they do when you go to your primary, right? And in that, what happened is she said there was a 7 out of 10 chance that I would probably have a heart attack in 10 years, right? So at that time, as a 43-year-old male, right, African-American male with children, right, ages at that time, 5, 13, and 20 at that time. And my children are all 1 year older. Now, I said, well, that's not going to be a good thing because I have to be around for my kids, right? I have to be around to make sure that they are taken care of, to adulthood, right? Because that's my responsibility. Hey, Harjarine, I think I'm saying that right, Harjarine. I want to make sure that I'm here to take care of my kids to adulthood because I feel like that's our responsibility, right? If you have kids, it's to get them to adulthood. Anything after that, so be it. And I mean 21 at the very least. Now we all know, a lot of kids they need to about 25, but I'm just saying 21 because they have college and things of that nature, right? And if you can be, you want to be around to see them get married, so as preserve your life as long as possible, right? So I said, hey, I got to take action, right? So from that point, and that was in November of last year, she prescribed to me. I said, well, hey, I've been looking at GLP-1s and I would like to try them because I've done all the traditional methods and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. I've lost 30, 20, 30, and even 40 pounds at one point doing all the traditional things, working out, eating a certain way, even fasting, right? And it's not enough, right? Because at the time of that appointment, I was 320 pounds almost, right? 319.6 to be exact. And I said I need some other type of help, something else, something additional that could help me get the weight off, get more weight off, and keep it off, right? So I said I've been looking at these GLP-1s, and I started talking to her about it. Now she wasn't that versed in it, but she did know the basics, right? So, and I really like my doctor because she really, really, really fights for you, right? So she got with the business manager in the doctor's office and said, hey, we're gonna make sure, people do get denied, but we're gonna do everything we can to get you approved. And luckily for me, it wasn't much of a fight because my insurance, was willing to pay for it. So I actually do have insurance, and I paid $25 a month for the 30-day for a box of 4 pens, right? I pay $25 a month, and I get every 30 days I get 4 new pens. That's how it works for me, right? So I started on January 5th because I didn't want to start on Thanksgiving because that was around the time I went to my appointment, and I said, well, I'm not going to start this on Thanksgiving and not be successful. I said I want to be very successful, so I want to get my body right over this next month through the holidays, and I had a birthday coming in January, so I said, when January comes, I'm going to get started. So that's what I did. I got started in January, and then in January 5th, I took my first shot. I had no real expectation because I just didn't know what the drugs would do, right? So I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, take the drug, and I'm going to do my best. I said, it's my birthday month. I got a few outings, but, and again, I was so uneducated around the drug at the time. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm actually watching the Eagles game too. I'm in Philadelphia, and I'm a Philadelphia Eagle fan, and I really believe in this. So believe in the GLP-1. So even during the game, yes, I'm going live, but the TV is right in front of me, and so therefore, sometimes I'm looking away because there's different plays and things of that nature going on. Just so y'all can see, yeah, TV's right there. So that's what I'm actually tuned into while I'm talking to y'all. But so if I look away, that's probably what's going on, right? And we Super Bowl champs. So I played blow the whistle on the last video. Y'all ain't gonna do that to y'all this time, but we'll keep it, we'll keep it on topic, right? So what let's go. EAGLES. Let's go Eagles. But yeah, so basically in January, I had a few outings that came up, and I went ahead and I went, and I went on the outings, and I wasn't like super duper serious, I want to say, in January about the medication. I took my shot every week. I never missed. And I lost 15 pounds, and that was with not necessarily eating the best that month. I want to say I did prep my body some because I had went on, I don't even want to say fasting, but I decided to go and do all plant-based just to prep my body beforehand. And I was doing these thank you, Felicia. I appreciate it. I'm actually in this is my basement. This is the basement. So this is my downstairs. This is down. This is the bottom level, of my house. This is my basement, then upstairs, the first floor, then the second floor. So but thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah. But this is where I get a little bit of freedom because my daughter's upstairs watching TV, and then my son's on upstairs, and then my wife is on the next level. So yeah. But yeah, so starting a lot. Get on out of here. Get on out of here with that lost weight since starting a lot. Darian, boy, always you. No, I ain't lose weight since starting the live, but I did lose weight since the last live. I did do that, We had 82 pounds, not 80. So, and I started at 10. So, but no, where was I? So in January, I had a few outings, and I lost 15 pounds in spite of. And I said to myself, I gotta get real serious with this. And in February, I got really serious. I started doing resistance training. The first thing actually, let me back it up. I did not start doing resistance training. I started walking first. I started doing the long distance walking first. And I was so serious in the beginning where I didn't care. And remember, it's February. It could be cold. It could be rain. I was walking in the rain. I mean, it could be, I didn't care what the weather was, right? Whether it was cold, raining, I don't care what it was. Like, I didn't miss a day. I was out there, And when I say I didn't miss a day, there was 4 days out the week that I put aside to make sure that I did my walking, right? Fast forward to March, right around when I started doing my shorts that I used to do from the car. I said, okay, I'm going to actually make sure I get on my resistance training. I have these tapes by Dr. J. Tate. I started doing my resistance training, and the weights and all of that. Then, but to back it up, the Raw Generation Organic was like bottles of like juice, fruit, and what have you. And no disrespect to plant-based, but I don't think I could do plant-based on the GLP-1, right? Because to me, even drinking all that and doing all that is not enough. And the thing is, while I lost some weight, I didn't lose a lot. I think if anything, I think that was where I was under eating, and it's not to say you can't do plant-based, and lose weight, because plenty of people do. I mean, look at their channels. They do it. But for me personally, as a big guy, being almost 320 pounds, that just wasn't going to work, for me to get like meaningful weight loss. It wasn't hard for me to do it because I'm one to intermittent fast. So it wasn't that hard. And I mean, I felt like, my body was, I was eating so clean because I was drinking fruits and vegetables. Green juice was my primary one. I was drinking the green juice. And for protein, I was doing, what they have is like bottles of like cashews and vanilla and stuff like that kind of ground up. And that's how you get your protein. So I utilized that. And I think it started me, pretty good, but I wasn't seeing the weight loss. So fast forward back to March. So in March, that's when I added I was doing the walking and the resistance training together, right? Doing both of them. Every single week I was losing weight. Every single week, because I started tracking in February. Remember, January I didn't track, but I know what I started with and where I ended at in the beginning of February. That's how I know I lost 15 pounds. But I started tracking in February every single week. February, March, April. And what was happening is I was actually losing, I want to say, 2.9, nearly 3 pounds every single week. Every single week. Every single week. I'm getting ready to start week 36 or week 37. And I want to say I lost weight more than over 30 weeks straight. Over 30 weeks straight, I lost weight every week, week after week after week after week after week. GLP-1, I feel like put me in such control that I can lose weight at will now, right? And what I mean by that is based on whether I work out or not, walk or not, I'm going to lose weight or not, right? And what I mean by that is now in August, what happened is, I'll say back in August because it's September. In August, what happened is I actually would kind of maintain, never gain, but I kind of maintain for 2 weeks. Then I have a big loss on the third week. Maintain for another week, and have a bigger loss right before the beginning of the next month. So that's what and the weight kind of like, and then the loss dropped because I stopped being able to work out because of my foot issues, right? So people do know about that because I did go into that. And as far as OMAD, let me go back and talk about that, right? So I do intermittent fasting, but I eat twice a day. I don't do OMAD unless I'm doing autophagy, right? Autophagy I'll do once or twice. I want to reach autophagy. Let me just say that. I like to do that maybe a couple times a month, maybe once or twice. So basically, I typically will eat at 5 p.m., right? And then I won't eat again until 5 p.m. the next day. That's kind of how I do that. When I do that one meal a day for autophagy. But other than that, I eat 2 meals a day. My eating usually starts around 2 p.m. and it's usually done about 7, or 8. Like today, I'm already done. I've done all my eating today. I started a little bit earlier because it's Sunday. And for most, I did say that I did do my, on Sundays, I do breakfast with my son. My son made breakfast today too. So I did do breakfast, but even that's around noon. That was probably at noon when I ate breakfast. And then I ate dinner right at 5, right? So, and I'm done already. So I'm done. I won't eat again until tomorrow. So now about calories, right? Let's talk about calories, right? Because that's another thing about people that do fasting, and they do, the claim is that, it's going to be hard for you to get your calories, right? So without going too deep into detail, what I'll say is every plate of food that I have, I already know how much the calories are. And again, like if you watch my previous videos, I say it's like Groundhog Day. I eat the same stuff. I don't really stray, left, right, or too many. So I know exactly what my calories are every single day. And I'll tell you, I probably don't go a day shy of anywhere from 1,800 calories. I mean, every day. Every day. Now, I'm not saying I never ate 12 or 1,300 calories. It can happen, but generally, I usually eat about 17 to 1,800 calories every day. Every day. And I still lost 2.9 pounds, almost 3 pounds every week. Every single week. Now, that has slowed now that I'm so far up into my weight loss. Like this past week, I lost a pound and a half. A pound and a half. Now, I titrated up to the 10 to help me because what I was about to say, I just seen the OMAD comments and I wanted to go into that. Hey, Vanity, nice to see you made it this week, huh? Such a busy lady, you. What's up, Vanity? So everybody that don't know Vanity, she has an amazing channel, so check her out. She's in the chat, so please go over, like, subscribe, and visit her channel because she got some amazing stuff going on over there. Low Carb Queen, appreciate you for subscribing to me today too. So what I was saying was, I still lost, nearly 3 pounds every single week, right? Doing, the one, like I always tell people, being consistent, taking my shot. I've never missed a shot. I've never had a week where I missed a shot. I did waste a pen. I did waste one pen accidentally because I was traveling, took the pen with me, and that pen actually was in the improper temperature because I should have just left it out, but I put it in the hotel refrigerator and it froze. And so when I seen the little icicle in there, I said, oh no, shot that thing in the sink. And if you've never seen a pen wasted, I had no choice, and I really was bothered that I had to waste it, but I did have to waste it. I mean, I'm sure we don't generally waste pens, but if you have a pen and you're on the pen, to see the way it shoots out, I understand why sometimes we have that sight irritation, right? I understand that. Round mound in the building. What up, Charles? So basically, I do understand why that sight irritation occurs, because when I tell you that serum shoots out of that pen so quickly, I mean, it's like a missile. I was like, wow, this is shooting in your vein like that. So yes, it's really something. But I was talking about weight loss and how I got to my weight loss every single week. How I'm nearly 26 pounds, right at about 26% down. Vanity Herd fasting. Yeah, so we was talking. There we go. I'm back. We have froze. So in intermittent fasting, and it's crazy because I have Wi-Fi upstairs, but I had another Wi-Fi placed in down here too, just to get better receptions. But sometimes it still occurs. Another box, another router, I should say, placed in the closet off to the left behind the bar over there. So, but yeah, so basically, I actually, like I said, eat 2 meals a day. I generally get about 1,800 calories every single day. I'm not missing no calories. She's good. She did her second shot today. My wife just started GLP-1. She did her second shot today. So she is good. She actually lost almost 5 pounds in her first week. Almost 5 pounds. She's down, I think, 4 point something. She lost almost 5 pounds in her first week. So yes, she is on the journey. So yes, basically, I had, so with the fasting, people often talk about the calories, but I get calories, and I get that through high quality protein. So when I'm talking about high quality protein, what I mean by that is usually the several meats. Steak, number one. I do fish, right? I do ribeye primarily. If you go to my post, if you go to my post, she a Zepper just like us. She is a Zep bounder just like us. So I mean, some people type 2 diabetes are Manjaro, but she's a Zep bounder. So basically, yeah, she's on the pen to Zep bound. So basically, yeah, just like us. But I do ribeye for my steaks. I do for fish. I usually do the salmon, the Chilean, or the red snapper. So, and if you go into my I like to post. I like to post a lot because I like to show people, right? I like to show people what's going on because there's a lot of funny business on YouTube, and I'm not one of them. So I like people to see what it is that I'm doing. I see a lot of little freaky, like crazy stuff. Some of the weights and the weeks and the weights and and the stuff, people get on here, so I like to show, what it is I'm doing. I even posted I like to post the scale too. I posted my weight today. Not toes on, but I use the same smart scale, so I usually post my screenshot from the app. So therefore, I wanted to, I showed today that I'm inching on down into the 230. So I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not sure I want to set any goal, any contests or markers right now. But my goal is to get, into those 220s before we go too far into the winter. Because my first goal was to lose 100 pounds, which would be 220 pounds, 219 pounds. So I'm still fighting to get there. That'll be the first goal, that I would achieve, because I set a 100-pound goal from the beginning. So at 82 pounds in 8 months, I think that, I'm doing pretty good, right? And we're in the 9th month now, I should say. So, yeah, so there you have it. I mean, that's pretty much like, the journey for me so far. For those that were interested to know, and that are new subscribers. So if you're new here, again, Geez1of1, like and subscribe, and I'm going to jump into the chat and then go backwards so I can see some of the questions and then make the live about that, because I just wanted to catch people up that don't know me, okay? So I'm going to go backwards and then I'm going to go through the chat for everybody, okay? Okay, y'all going off in this chat. I bet you Darian behind most of it. Darian is probably behind most of it. Yes, please double tap. Hit those likes. Get those likes. I got 21 people here. I got 17 likes. So I think, we got a few more people that might not have hit that like button yet. Yes, it is all love between most of us, because basically, there's a lot of respect, and I said that last week, and I'll say it again. I really, really, really do like the fact that even though I don't have a ton of subscribers, a ton of people that's on watching when I'm live, I got all the right people. I feel like, I have very, very influential people in lives when I go live. So that's why I don't try to spam it. I don't try to be live, a lot. I try to do it when I think people might have the most time to tune in and have a decent conversation. And I don't want to feel like I'm, bombarding you guys. So that's why I like to just go to everybody else's channels throughout the week, comment, support, just to let you know I'm here. I'm still doing, what it is I'm doing. And then everybody has space to kind of like go live and grow, right? So that's definitely what I like, because all the most important people are here. So I see Darian said to put the cues up for the questions. So if I see the cues, I will go ahead and read those. Listening from so JC says she's listening from Texas. Jen says she's listening, I believe from Boston. We got Tamika. I think most of us know Joe's in the coming live from the UK. We got. I didn't know you were on the East Coast, Jen. Yes, Jen's on the East Coast. She's in Boston. Even though this is not a Boston household here, so that's the one thing we're not going to agree on around here. We are Philadelphia 76ers and the Philadelphia Eagles household. So that's the one place we will have some opposition with Boston, if you're a Boston Celtics fan, Jen. So we got a lot of people saying hello to one another. Twan says, numbers are great to gain knowledge of the tool. Darian, I don't know who Darian was talking to. He was talking to John M. I guess he was getting smart. We got a lot of good mornings. Hey, I saw KDB said I saw on a commercial today that they are prescribing GLP-1s for several other medical conditions. I thought about it causing shortages. I mean, honestly, no. I mean, because really, the only thing that would cause a shortage is probably if they drop the prices, right? If they drop the prices to some extremely, extremely low amount, right? So if they were to do that, like drop the prices to something that's really, really, really low, then you might see some sort of like shortage kicking in. But right now, I really don't think you're gonna have to really worry about shortages from them contraindicating it for other things. I mean, them prescribing it for other things is kind of like the best thing that could happen to us, because that means that insurances will find themselves possibly having to cover it for a multitude of reasons that they aren't covering now, right? So we got 21 likes and 22 people. So yes, we are getting there. So if you're that 22nd person and you haven't hit like, so please make sure you hit the like button. So having it contraindicated for more diseases and more disease state and other things, I'll go on a limb and say that retatrutide, which is not out yet, is being seen early on to be something that actually is a, since it's a triple agonist, right? The GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon, something that actually is kind of resetting your metabolic health, right? Because it has benefits for your heart, your kidneys, mentally. Some people say, that's not something that I think they tested for, but I know that they did studies of the cardiovascular on the heart and the kidneys, and there are actually Surmont trials to show what it is doing in those cases. They're far enough for people to start saying that these things are, they're doing it on a lot of things, including I don't want to leave out osteoarthritis and different knee pain, things of that nature. So there are a lot of things, but yes, them actually contraindicating it for more things is a plus, because that means that insurance are less likely to say no, because they're for other things and not just weight loss. Tamika said, I dislike when non-users say we will be sorry in the long run or end up 6 feet under. Oh my goodness. Shaking my head, aren't there? Shaking my head, aren't there side effects to all medication? My goodness. Yeah, I mean, those kind of people I just ignore, right? Because they're silly. Like, those are the silly people that are ignorant. And what they don't do is they don't take time to really learn, right? They just spout off anything that comes to mind because they're haters, right? Believe it or not, some of those people just upset because they're not on the medication they would like to be, and for whatever reason they're not able to. So guess what? The easiest way to actually not feel sad about something is to act like you hate it, right? So it is what it is. I actually become more annoyed at the sneak dissers, right? And what I mean sneak dissing is like the people that basically, they want to act as if like they're even killed, but then they throw slicks, little shots. Well, what if this? Well, what if that? And it's good to play devil's advocate, but at some point, you know what I mean? Are you playing devil's advocate, or are you just like hating on the journey, right? That's kind of like what it is that I think that I would be very careful of. Twan says, because several people use the medication and doesn't exercise, track, etc. That is true. That is true. There's one young lady that proudly says that she did not exercise her whole journey. She's been on it for about 2.5 years. Her name evades me right now, but she's proud about it. She says, hey, I'm not one to exercise. I've never been. I just take my medicine. I eat right. Now, she does eat right. She eats terrific. She eats baked chicken, broccoli, and rice, like regularly. Like that's like her thing. Like, you know what I mean? So she's lost, I think she started at 365 and she's 180 pounds right now. She started at 365 and she's 180 pounds right now. So it has worked for her. She does not exercise, but she does tell everybody what not to eat, what not to drink. And I did mention that, right, in my live, because I talked about my foot issues and how I'm not able to work out for a while, how I was working out, the way I was working out based on those injuries. I have to work out kind of sitting, right? Either chair exercises, and I can still lift weights. I still can lift my weights, so my arms is going to get that work. You know what I'm saying? I'll be able to lift and bench and all, but I can't do the leg exercises because I have a bruised tendon in the left ankle, which I'm trying to heal, which I'm hoping heal by October, so I can have my surgery on my osteoarthritis in the right big toe, because that's where the osteoarthritis is. Well, in essence, what that surgery would look like is them shaving down in between and then pretty much fusing that the big toe to the joint, and putting a titanium plate to bridge that. So basically they shorten it and pretty much it would stop the pain that I have because there would be no more friction, right? And then they do it in such a way that it'll allow me to actually exercise and rock and move. So, but I've had osteoarthritis for quite some time, and I was getting cortisone shots, but they no longer work for me because it's been too long, right? Adulthood isn't 18, always 18. That's right. It goes right on into college. I got a 21-year-old that is actually in her final year. She is a senior, and she will be graduating soon, this coming May from college. All right, so I'm just going through the comments. We got Darium. I'm with you on that, Tamika. Just trying to get to y'all questions. And then Darium says, I dislike when someone who is not on my care team having an opinion on what I should be taking or not taking. Y'all, y'all curse words were nowhere to be found when I was sick. Lord have mercy, boy. Leave it up to Darian, boy. He gonna keep it interesting. He gonna keep it interesting. Oh my God. Oh my God. Everybody's like, right, Darren, right, Darren. Lord bless the folks who pay 25 or less for the medication. That's a blessing. Hey, you know, Darren, it sure is, man. It sure is. And I do not take it for granted. I do not take it for granted. But I tell you what, my monthly premium is something else. I should be paying $25 a month because I pay them enough otherwise. But yes, I do. I am grateful for that. Joe says, amen to that, Darium. I'm literally waiting for someone to tell me about my GLP-1 use after it's literally helped me get my life back. Absolutely, Joe. And amazing live. You know, that live you did earlier was amazing. And just listening to, you know, your story, you know, it's inspiring. I congratulate you. I just want you to keep going. Hello to Kim J. Nice to see you here. I appreciate you joining this live with us. And Twine talking about, where did you find Muckaluckers? Darium. More greetings. Yes, go Birds. Okay, go Birds. Reset with Anissa. Are you in Philly? Go Birds. That's right. Okay, I see. I'm near Philly. Okay, you're near Philly. That's what's up. That's what's up. We 13-10 right now. It's coming. It's almost halftime. And sorry for the shaking. I got the phone on the little stick that I have to study the camera, but it's over here on my carpet, the only carpeted area down here because I'm actually watching the game. So I do apologize about the shaking. Then we got Darium talking about me losing weight in my neck since the live started. Oh my goodness. Life for Shy. I appreciate that, Shy. You were really successful with the GLP-1. It seems like men lose weight fast. Well, you know what? Not necessarily. It's not just a man thing. I think it's an individual thing, right? Because we have a lot of men that struggle too. The thing is, you don't hear men's stories like that, right? I was just speaking to Shy because she said it looked like men. So not all men, because I know some men, and especially diabetics, non-diabetics. I'm not a diabetic, so I may, do a bit better than diabetics in general, but no, I think it's just doing all the things. Like I said, I'm consistent. I eat high quality protein, resistance training. There's a multitude of reasons why you're going to be successful. The GLP-1s work, but it's also about the work you put in, right? But then you have some people that don't respond well. It's just about biology, right? Because at the end of the day, it is biology. But I don't think it's a man-woman thing, right? Even though we know generally, yes, men may lose weight sometimes quicker because of the hormonal imbalances that women may have more of for various reasons, obviously, right? So yeah, you are going to see some of that. But no, I think we can attribute some individuals' journeys being what they are because those individuals do certain things that other individuals might not, right? They're not eating the right foods. They don't resistance train. And you don't have to because, like I said, there's a young lady that was, that lost almost 200 pounds, and I don't want to say just. Let me not say just. She lost 200 pounds taking her shot every week. She titrated up to the highest dose, and she actually eats proper foods, right? So when you see some people, right, there's some people that do everything, right? They do everything, and they still struggle. But I still feel like that might be the minority, right? The majority of people that do everything, they see the results. They see the results. And the people that struggle, that tell you, oh, I'm struggling, when you sit down, right, and you really, really get into like, okay, let's talk about your week. Let's write it down. Let's see exactly what you did. What did you eat? How much did you drink? When did you eat? When did you drink? Did you do some resistance training, or did you move your body? You know what I mean? Did you take your shot? Did you take it, at proper time? Are you on a proper dose? There's so many things, right? So it's hard to say like a men versus women type thing. I don't think that's what it is. I just think it's an individual thing. I am a meat eater, so plant-based isn't going to be an option. Twan says she is a meat eater. Plant-based is not going to be an option for her. So, funny thing is, in the journey of losing weight, I've done some of everything. I've done the plant-based, I've done the pescatarian where I only did fish. I've done it all, but I just find on this particular journey, you kind of need, well, let me say for larger individuals, right? Larger people. For me, because I was a larger person. I'm 6 foot tall and I was 320 pounds. Today I'm 237. Now, plant-based, just, for me, I find that if I was on plant-based, I would actually end up running the carbs, in some way, shape, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? Because I tried that. I did do, I had Garden of Life plant-based protein that I would do with a shake, right? I was doing the juices, but I wasn't really losing no weight. I just wasn't losing weight doing the plant-based thing. And I think it was because I was sufficing with carbs, right? I was sufficing with carbs where I shouldn't, right? So that's kind of like why it is that I feel like the plant-based probably is not in meat. And I mean, look, I eat meat now, and look at me. And let me just say, people do have there's a certain concern when it comes to red meat, right? There's a certain concern, right? So now when it comes to red meat, right? I love ribeye. Everybody know it, they see it, right? But I don't eat it every day, right? I don't eat it every day, right? I eat it several times a month, right? Several times a month. But I don't eat it every day, right? The primary thing I eat every day is baked chicken. I eat baked chicken, rotisserie chicken. I eat that every day. I have chicken probably every day, almost every day, because I do eat burgers. That's one thing I did tell people. I do eat burgers. And if I get a burger, a lot of times it's from Five Guys. If I'm out and it's quick, because what I do like is that, for whatever they do bake, they use peanut oil, number one. And then their meat is sourced in a way that I trust, right? So because again, I'm all about high quality protein, right? So there's that. But yeah, so people that have the red meat concern, there's a concern probably with just everything. What doesn't have a concern? What doesn't have a concern? I don't know. But for me, like I said, it's helped me to lose weight, and it's helped me to normalize my blood pressure. I came off of my diuretic last week, so I'm doing really good so far, with that. So 120 over 80, 119 over 80. So when I was a person that was usually like 145, 150 over 90, 95, right? So, and before I was on blood pressure medicine, I was like critically high. I was like, I had a blood pressure at one time was 185 over 115. That happened before, right? Which is critical, right? So you don't want to be going there, right? So I came a long, long, long way and came off of blood pressure medication, with this over 80 pound loss. So I've lost 80 pounds in under 6 months eating how Geez eats. It works brilliantly for me, and I'm getting stronger from protein. Yes, Joe, that's right. Keep eating that meat. Keep eating that meat. Kim J says intermittent fasting is where it's at to get that body back under subjection, aka from resistance to sensitivity and much more. Absolutely, I do agree. It certainly is. It certainly is. Twan says you've developed a new lifestyle. Absolutely. He normally does 2 meals a day, and if at recess. Yep, I sure do. Two kudos. Thank you, Kim J. Appreciate you. OMAD, 1 meal a day, eating all your days, calories in 1 meal. Yeah, so, yep, I do that one time. And so when I do that, I do post that. So this is why I do also, like I post a lot of pictures, and I post like those different foods So again, I want people to see in living color, like my plate. I want you to see if I'm eating ribeye and broccoli. I want you to see what I'm doing on my OMAD day. So an OMAD day for me, just so you guys know, if you go into, like I said, my post, not the shorts, not the videos, but the post, you'll see on those days, generally what you're gonna see me eating is probably salmon, right? Over a bed of brown rice, right? With some, different condiments on top of the salmon, along with yams, right? That's my filler day, right? Once I do, if I do an OMAD day and I'm trying to, and I've reached autophagy, right? That's kind of that 1 meal a day. It's really heavy, right? And so since I don't eat carbs, right? What it is that I'm able to do is add cornbread. So I'll eat cornbread that day, right? And that'll carry me. You know what I mean? So that's how, like, I know that I'm not that day. I'm probably over calories. I can all that along with that cornbread. I didn't add the cornbread. It's probably over. It might be over 2,000 calories. It might. Interception. Y'all see that? Wow. Interception. All right, sorry about that. I told y'all gonna get those kind of outbursts every now and then. Every now and then, y'all gonna get them little outbursts like that, because my squad playing. So, but again, I feel like this health journey is very important, right? So, yeah. So I probably on those days get quite a bit of more calories, because on Sundays I tell you I'm a bit more loose with how much I eat. I'm able to kind of like let free, because generally I do weigh in on Sunday morning. So I know how well my week went. So I'm very comfortable on Sundays with my eating. I eat whatever I want, eat whatever I want, because it really doesn't matter, because I put the work in early enough in the week. And appreciate the likes, because we had 22 people and 22 likes. I do appreciate that. Thank y'all for that. So yeah, that's how that works for me. Anissa says I do protein coffee and 2 meals for the rest day. Right, Twan. Kim J says, right, Twan. Lifestyle changes. Also, mind shifted to better health. Me too. Low Carb Queen say, I may have missed something, but may tend to lose weight quicker than women due to more muscle mass differences. Okay. Brown Mound came in at that time. He was saying, what's up, brother? If you still around in the live, I appreciate you tuning in, man, for sure. Vanity said the Pacific time has me catching all people. Are you still out in the Pacific, Vanity? Yes, low carb queen. Vanity says hello. Hello. I'm going to try to catch up a little bit, because I know y'all probably put a whole bunch of stuff in. Oh, Vandy says, I inject slowly with the syringes. If I inject too quickly, it hurts. Yeah, I'm actually glad I haven't had to do the syringes so far. So, I just think, because we've gotten spoiled. I gotten spoiled with the pens. Like, you know what I mean? The pens will really, really, really spoil you. You know what I mean? They have spoiled me. They have really spoiled me. I'm gonna bring this a little bit closer so I don't gotta bend over so much. Yeah, so the pens have really spoiled me. You know what I mean? I clearly, like I said, I manage a pharmacy, and I give flu shots, I give COVID shots, I give, so we give out shots all day, So I'm not, me giving a shot is like second nature, but I don't want to be, injecting myself with that particular shot. I'd rather do the pen. Vandy says, hey, Jen. We talked about my wife. Yes. She, like I said, she did her first week on Zepbound, and she lost 4 pounds. So, yes. Profi and 2 meals, but also a fruit fiber snack or 2 reduced low sugar. That's what Kim J says too, Anissa. So I can't do coffee at all. That's just not good. I can't do that. I wouldn't make it out the door with the coffee thing. So I've never been able to do. I'm lactose intolerant. I can't do anything with coffee or anything of that nature. So a Profi would probably never be a thing for me. I'm just all water. All I drink is water. Period. I don't drink nothing else. Every now and then, if I go out, like if I go to a restaurant, like I did with my wife, what happens there is I usually do like lemonade. I'll do like a lemonade because I'm out, something like that. But I just drink water, nothing else. Yep, she's on Zepbound. That Twan said, which pen is she on? Yeah, she asked which med. It was Zepbound. Will your wife be starting her channel as well to talk about her? Nah, no. I don't know. I mean, my wife. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, as she gets into the journey, she might. But I mean, let's just week 2 for her. So she'll probably make an appearance on my channel one day. But so far, it's just week 2. She is. I mean, she's on the internet. Like I said, she's. Again, like I explained last week, we have we also have a business called Bosses and Babes. On the if you go to Facebook, if you go to my personal page, Geez1of1, on Instagram, you guys can actually follow. And in Facebook, it's called Bosses and Babes Link Up. Boston Babes Link Up. Because what we do is we host people that have their own businesses, and we kind of network and link them. We link them together so they can network. So, and we have what is called vendors. So basically, people that vend product or services, we kind of bridge them together at events, so that way they can network, sell their merchandise, and then get their name out there for their product. So she's all on social media, no doubt. My wife has massive social media, following. So there's no doubt about it. Like she's known, she goes outside and they be like, aren't you Mrs. Boston Bay? You know what I mean? Like, so people know her. They know her everywhere, So, but I just mean, as far as this is concerned, I don't know if that, and it's not about like her not wanting to share she's doing it. I mean, she's okay with it and okay with me saying this. I'm just saying, I don't know if this is going to interest her to the point where she'll be doing what I'm doing, personally. I just, this is what motivates me and what I'm personally into. Nothing tops a good ribeye. Absolutely, man. Nothing tops a good ribeye. You know that ribeye that I had. You know what's funny is so the restaurant we went to on our anniversary, right? It's called Tallulah's Garden. They're really like a real prominent brunch spot too for people that like brunch. I don't know, like us guys aren't really brunchers. We're more like dinner people. I think. I don't want to. Some guys may be. I think that's more like the ladies sometimes like more like the brunch and the mimosas, and we be more like and that's probably because we more meat eaters sometimes. But the steak that I had that I posted on anniversary, the interesting thing about that steak that some people might not know is that steak was a multitude of different types of steak. It was ribeye, New York strip, different cuts, and that's why it was sliced like that. That's what was so decent about that, which people won't catch without you saying it to them. That was actually a multitude of different cuts. There was about 3 different cuts in that one plate of steak on the one I had on my anniversary. So that's like a pretty expensive restaurant. Usually on our anniversaries we go to. I mean, because we've been to like. I want to say almost every restaurant, man. I mean, this was our 18th year of marriage and 26 together. So, I mean, we do restaurants all the time, and I think we've been to just about all of them. But we hadn't been to that one, so that was actually decent because we hadn't went to that one. Awesome GLP-1 Team G's will be sharing her journey too. Yep, she will be. Let's see, hey, Kim. Show them better than you could tell them. I know that's right. Not sure what that was about for sure. Hey there, Miss Kim. Okay, so there's someone saying, hey. Tracy Twan. Yes, a lot of funny business in the GLP-1 community on TikTok. I try to stay away from there. Twan, it's some funny business on YouTube too. Like not just you. TikTok. I don't even have a TikTok, so I can't speak about TikTok. But definitely on YouTube. And one of the telltale signs for me usually is there's no before and after. Like I mean, none. Now there are people that just weren't taking photos because they felt like embarrassed, because of their weight. So I do respect that, no doubt about it. But then you got those that are also posting weights, and again we try to like stay on our own journey, But I'm just saying that's why I'm saying what I do. I post because I don't want people having that thought at all when it comes to things I'm saying, especially for someone like myself that lost, over 80 pounds in a matter of 8 months, right? So I wanted you to see, it, but you have people that just like, post these, these weights, I mean, I've seen people, that, posting 70-pound losses in 10 weeks, and I'm like, that's like, I mean, it's like dangerous, 10, 12 weeks and you're down 70 pounds, like, and I mean, these people ain't 400, not even 300 pounds, you know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But I'm just saying things like that. Usually I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, I just don't see it. Like, you know, I mean, really, 10, 12 weeks and you lost over 70 pounds. Like, I mean, that's I mean, just not even 3 months. You know, I'm more just about 3 months. You know, you lost 70. That I don't know. I don't know. But you know, I don't know. I just try to stay away from mind my business and do what I do. Yeah, it's been getting shady in those GLP-1 streets on TikTok. TikTok is cracking down on the content too. That's what Charles said. And Vanity like shady. Oh, she got the eye, she got the little the eyes up. In my Nene voice, why am I in it? See how my name gets thrown into stuff? Oh my God. Okay, so we got a question, right? So Michelle says, what do you put in your green juice? So Michelle, I don't drink green juice right now. I was when I was doing it, and again, I'm sorry for the shaking because again, it's on my pod, so the pod is not still because it's on my rug. I don't drink green juice right now. So the green juice that I was drinking was from a company called Raw Generation. It's very expensive. I was spending, I think, probably about $300 a month on the juices because I was drinking three a day, 3 or 4 a day, right? Because I was drinking them for every meal. You know, I was doing it for every meal. I would eat dinner, but for like in the morning and afternoon, I was just drinking juices. So I was drinking at least 3 a day, So I was spending about 300 and some odd dollars a month because they were pre-made, you know. And again, Raw Generation is what it's called. You can go right on Amazon if you want, you know, to look them up. But it's 100% natural, you know, organic. They have the green juices were primarily I believe greens, cucumbers, spinach, kale, and lemon juice. I think that's what they were. So yeah, I wasn't in the kitchen. I would order them. They'd come to my doorstep. I put them in the refrigerator, freezer, and then every night I would take it out, thaw out, and then I would take my juices with me on my way out. They had beet juice, they had the carrot juice, they had the green juice, and then for protein, while I was doing that, they had it would be like bottles of like cashews, vanilla, a multitude of different nuts, and that's how you get your protein. So, but I wasn't really losing weight. I did lose some weight, obviously, but not you know, it's just not something that I think could be long term. It's always good to clean your body, but yeah, Vanity, go Birds. That's right. That's right. And Marie, you're in Felicia Marie B, you're in California. Wow, I didn't know that. Another Massachusetts in the house. That's Michelle. Okay, so y'all really got into the okay. So Round Mound's talking to Vanity about the beef. He said there's some beef going on between one factor or another. Wow, there's a bunch of foods just going on that have zero to do with weight loss. Okay. Listening while doing my hair, but I'm in Colorado. Okay, Colorado. I have a cousin that's in Colorado. She's at this point I think she may be she's going to be an attorney. Her father is a judge. My cousin, which is her father, he's a judge. And she's went to be an attorney. And she was in Colorado going to school. I don't know. Haven't kept up with her. Matter of fact, no, I'm wrong. She took a job in Colorado. So as an attorney. So Kim J says, great perspective. Amen. G's. That was my prayer. God bring the people that should be there and on my channel. Darium says, thanks so much. Beautiful. My mom and sister are born and raised in North Philly. Do I get a pass? Okay, Jen. Yeah, that you get a pass. You get a pass. While I live in the suburbs now of Philadelphia, North Philly is where I was born and raised. I did live in Watertown, New York, about 13 miles from Canada in the late 80s because my father was in the service. So I did do that. So I was living around Deers in my young childhood for about 5 minutes. And the reason I say that is because I think we were up there for probably about, I want to say 87 to like 1991, somewhere around there, 87 to 91. So I was really young. I was under 10. By the time I was 10, I was right back in North Philadelphia. And then I was talking about how I shared with people that I went to Strawberry Mansion, which is, the nation's most dangerous high school. Well documented on ABC. Everybody go watch that Diane Sawyer ABC. You can see my high school that I went to. And when she was there, it was 2012, so it was a little more than 10 years ago. Obviously, I was there, I mean, what is that? About 26, if my math is right, 27 years ago when I was there. So I just want y'all to imagine, I'm 44. So at the time I was there, and I went there from, at that time it was a junior, it was a middle, it was a junior, middle, and senior high school. So I went there from 6th grade all the way to 12th grade. 6th grade all the way to 12th grade, from 1991 to 1998. So nearly 7 years I spent at what was deemed to be America's worst or most dangerous high school. So well documented. And so just imagine, in 2012 when Diane Sawyer went there, they had security, metal detectors. In the 90s, we ain't had none of that. The internet wasn't like that, So, I mean, you can just only imagine what we was in there with. And if you ever seen Eastside High, which they was making fun of, when we was on Twine live about to sing, and I thought they were talking about Eastside High. They try to attribute it to that. But I tell you, my school was probably that. If y'all never saw Joe Clark, and that's really about a New York school. My school was really that. You know what I mean? It was really that. I mean, it was nothing, but it was very traumatic, right? Very traumatic. So, but yeah, North Philly, stand up. Brown Mound says this past week has been eye-opening. Twan yet says, yes, I'm enjoying the JetBlue holiday videos now. Laugh out loud. I'm gonna need that unfollow list RMZ from Darium. I'm in Texas. Oh my God, Harjareen. Oh, I don't know if you're a Cowboys fan or you're a Texan fan, because I don't know what part of Texas you in, but Dallas almost lost to the Giants, and had they lost to the Giants, that would have been 2 divisional losses in the first couple of weeks, and they would have been in trouble. So I think that the league wanted to help them out there. RMZ says, yep. Twan, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Jen tried it, no pass. Vanity said, no pass. Oh, Jet 2. Oh, Lord. Question. What do you think the difference is between maintaining and a stall? Okay. So a stall. A stall to me is when you have went 30 days. 30 days. If you go from September 1st to October 1st and you don't lose a pound. Depending on what you did. Now, what you did, meaning, now I'm not going to say working out, because some people be on these drugs, don't work out and still lose weight. So I'm going to say, when I say depending on what you did, I mean, that means whether you've taken your shot and whether you're eating appropriately. If you took your shot and you're eating appropriately and you still don't lose weight for a month, then yeah, you may be in a stall. And I still say check with your doctor, because some people's bodies could be funny like that. It could be different hormonal reasons. Now, on top of that, if you want to talk about maintaining is, I feel like, if kind of like what I felt like I did in August, where 2 weeks I'm kind of at the same weight, but there are other things happening, right? So at the same time, if you're maintaining weight and yet you still lose inches in something, then you can't necessarily say you're stalled, because your body's still working. You're just not dropping pounds, right? You're just not dropping pounds, but your body's still working, which is why when we talked earlier about, having those inches, checking those inches, it's important. I did a horrible job with inches. I didn't think, and I can not say I did a horrible job, but that just really wasn't on my mind to really worry about inches, at the time. That's kind of like what I'll put. Like, I just was trying to like worry about everything else, and I didn't. I put inches to the back burner, but I lost a lot of inches, For men, when we get dress shirts, we measure them by the neck and the sleeve. So generally, I was at my highest. I probably could wear a 20 at one point in a shirt, right? At my very, very, very highest, but generally like a 19 and a half. 36 length. Now, I'm a 17. I'm a 17 in the dress shirt. So I mean, that's what, 3 inches, off my neck. So inches are very, very important. So I think that will actually tell you whether you're stalling or not, because that is that would indicate you're not necessarily stalling, you know. But if you go a month or more, and I mean, and you're taking your shot and you're eating right, then yeah, you might be in the stall at that time. Maybe, you know, it might be time to talk to the doctor and possibly try to trade up. But maintaining, I would say, you know, if you are the same weight for a few weeks, or let me add a caveat: if you have a smart scale, right, and that smart scale indicates that you've gained muscle, right? You've gained muscle. Because I don't know, do people remember my video? You might, I don't know, but I posted it. If you go into my post, I'm saying people should go to my post. In my post, I posted my arm, you know, when I saw that muscle gain that I got, and I was like, hey, everybody, you know, if you go look at my, so there's weeks where you got to be really careful because you might think that it's a gain, and then you go to your scale and it says muscle, then that's the gains you want, right? That's the gains you want. You know, you want those muscles. So, you know, you get into body recon, right? Which is another conversation. As Miss Nikki says, now there are possible side effects to food and water. We have constant recalls and issues. I don't know food and water. I don't know where that's coming from. Round mound popped in for a minute. Got to run. Hope to see you all on Tuesday night. All right, RMZ. Cool, man. We'll see you Tuesday, man. My hubby and I'll be joining Tuesday night from Twan. Take care, RMZ. I'll be there for sure. What time? The time is going to be, it depends on where you are. So if you on Philly time, it's going to be 9 p.m., right? If you on Cali time, it's going to be 6 p.m., right? If you on Central, let's say Dallas or Houston time, you're going to probably be at, I want to say 8 p.m., I think, if I'm right. The natural weight loss losers gave me the worst sneak disses. Oh, wow. Yeah, I know, Felicia. They do that. They do that. It's Darian. They try at Felicia Marie, but their arguments are idiotic. Yeah, I do agree. Kim J says, she says, we know that everybody that's born will pass eventually. So ignore the haters while we continue to improve our health on these GLP-1 streets. Thank you, Darian. From Felicia. Joe Sleep says, I don't necessarily think it's our job to educate the ignorant, but I love that we can advocate for those genuinely interested in what's going with the GLP-1s. Bethune, I don't know what that means. That's from Traces of Juan. Yes, Joe, I definitely do agree that we should be advocating and can advocate for each other. JC Calamity Jane, unfortunately, we have to keep an eye on these terrorists. Sorry to say that because these drugs are, I don't know what DM means, but yeah, they're very expensive, and we do. Monica W says, when we are overweight and sickly, they don't say anything, but once we do something to help us lose weight and get healthy, they have a lot to say about the medication. People are a trip. Yeah, they really are. You know, and I say that all the time. I say that all the time. You know, when you really big and you actually are, you know, probably going the wrong direction, they ain't telling you to slow down. Be careful. Hey man, you putting on a few. No, I ain't saying nobody ever, but they not. But as soon as you start losing, they all over you. And the thing is, I feel like it's because of jealousy. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, and I did a video on this a long time ago too. A lot of people who actually do, you know, say those things, they're lame. They have terrible personalities. I mean, terrible, absolutely terrible personalities. You know, and when you start, and the only thing that they can say about you is, oh, you're big, or you're out of shape, or what have you. You know, for those that care, and their whole personality is lame. I mean, they might look the part, but nobody really wants to be around them because they're a terrible individual. So now, fast forward to you as an amazing person, good character, down to earth personality, people like to be around, and you lose weight. Oh my God, you know, it's like a trifecta. You know, so that's why I feel like that's where hate comes from. Twan says, I was hoping Zepbound was going to be denied so that I could have started Manjaro to pay 25. Wow. Yeah, that would have been crazy, Twan. Manufactured in Europe, which did you get? Okay, so y'all talking to each other. Kim J, G's happy to be able to be here. Yes, I'm happy here too. West Philly, okay. Born and raised. Nice. Till age 10. Okay, Anissa. Remember that diabetes impacts. She says, Anissa says, I need to remember that diabetes impacts my weight loss. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. 1310. Yes. Actually, it's 2010 Eagles. For anybody who don't know, for anybody who curious about the score, it's 20-10. It's 20-10 with 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. 100 G's. It's about the work put in. The natural everyday lifestyle changes tremendously helped me on my journey alongside the Manjaro for type 2 diabetics. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. And that's why I don't like the male versus female comparison. I hate that in general. Like, I just hate the internet when they be like, oh, the whole male versus female competition thing and men ain't this, women ain't that. It's so much division. And I just hate the male versus female. I just rather just talk about our journey as individuals, not sex-based, male or female, just keep it, as this individual does that individual does that, and that's why. It's not necessarily based on your sex. But I do understand where people coming from, because women often deal with certain hormones and things of that nature that can play a role in what's going on. So Michelle says, I can agree. I'm doing everything and juiced most of journey, and I lost a lot so far. It really depends on the person. Yeah, absolutely. It does depend on the person. It absolutely does depend on the person. And yes, juicing is good. And I'll tell you what, Michelle, those recipes of the juices that they use are readily available on their site. So even if you don't want to spend all that money to pay for those juices with them, you can simply just go on and steal the recipes. Because they're on the bottles. It tells you like what's in them. So you can flip it around and say, hey, I'll try this, I'll try that. But I mean, realistically, honestly, I found myself spending probably as much, if not more. And then on top of that, just juicing all that stuff was so much labor. It was labor intensive. So I said, I'm gonna just buy it. Like, I just couldn't do it. Because I used to get my juices from my fruits from Whole Foods. And at Whole Foods, to get the amount of vegetables and the amount of fruits and the amount of stuff that you need, it ended up being just as expensive by the time you juice all that. So I just spent a few $100s and went ahead and got got it from Raw Generation. Kim J says the manifestation is manifesting, just like the word says. Michelle says, I ate a lot of carb when I did plant-based. Yes, I think that's what we end up doing. We end up eating a lot of carbs. I had me some oxtails there. Yeah, H1, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Kim J says, thanks, Felicia. I know you can testify. All right, never had oxtails. Oh, who never had oxtails? Anissa, you've never had oxtails before? And you was born in West Philadelphia? Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like a Sunday thing with grandmoms back in the day. They whip up some oxtails, so you should try them, though. I think they're pretty good. Yeah, right, Twan. I just ate oxtails sitting here on this live, says Michelle. I'm going to try Five Guys one day. Yeah, Twan, try Five Guys because their meats are, and they're fried, and even so they have fries, but they're potatoes. So they're literally sacks of potatoes that they cut up, right there, and they use peanut oil. So the cholesterol is very low. So and again, it could be a little expensive because obviously you can go to McDonald's and get fries and stuff for like $10, but for a meal. But at Five Guys, it's probably gonna be more like I want to say 20. For the burger, the fries, and the drink. You know what I'm saying? It's probably about $20. But it's I mean, the freshness is different. It's so different. Oxtails. Yes, very good. Yeah, that steak looks. Monica W. Yeah, that steak looks delicious on your post. Thanks, Monica W. Reset with the niece. Yes, I did really improve my health for sure. I actually went from, like I said, I have a video discussing all of my labs too. If you guys want to actually go check that out. I actually turned everything around, to green. My cholesterol actually got flipped. I flipped that. I was probably, I'm not gonna do the numbers because I like to be specific. Just know everything that I actually turned around from cholesterol and such was probably better than it was 10 years ago. As far as like glucose, your A1C, I should say. If I were to honest, I was probably like I was never a pre-diabetic or anything like that, but when I did my labs, I was probably at like a 4.6 or something of that nature. So no diabetes in sight. My cholesterol was amazing. My blood pressure came down. You know, like I said, I'm still on one blood pressure. I was actually taking both amlodipine 5 milligrams, and then I was also taking the hydrochlorothiazide 12.5, which is the base level water pill. So I got rid of the 12.5 hydrochlorothiazide because that diuretic, I felt like, well, my foot surgeon said that he believed it was causing some gout, which I never had ever before. But because I'm taking the GLP-1 along with that and it being the diuretic, it was actually causing gout, because it was just probably like overkill. So I've been a week off of it, and I did think about like, oh, maybe that might affect something because I've been taking that diuretic for over 10 years. You know what I mean? So, but he said, but my actual my doctor, when I went to see her, she said that she saw it to be okay because her and the nurse both took my blood pressure and I had been very controlled. So and with all of the weight loss, it'd be okay to come off of one. So Kim J says your meat is everything to me. Yes, thank you. I do like I said, high quality protein. I usually do very good cuts of meat, of the meat. So that way I'm getting high quality protein. So therefore, people don't worry about, my fasting being an issue because it's not. I eat similar to you as well, G's. Juicing and then protein, and I fast 60. I lost 65 in 6 months. Yes, that is amazing. I juiced, like I said, I don't do it anymore. I don't juice now because I do fasting, so I don't just drink water now. But when I was juicing, I wasn't eating meat. I wanted to kind of prep my body for the GLP-1 and everything. So I spent several months juicing prior to my journey. The machine, that's my wife's machine. I use the weights. That's just an elliptical. That's like a manual elliptical, Twan. That's my wife's. Yeah, I don't use that. I hate that thing. I feel clumsy on that. That thing. That's hers. She used that. I don't use that. I don't like that. That. I feel clumsy when I get on it, so I don't like using it. But that's hers. She uses that. Those are my weights though. Me and my son use the weights. Yes, go Eagles. Go Eagles. Yeah, we are it's about a little less than 4 minutes left and we up 20-10. It's all the caffeinated. Probably talking about the Profi, which I can't do the coffee. Understandable, G's. Water it is for you then. It's best for you for sure. Yes, it is, because I cannot stand running to the bathroom like that. So about that. So right now, what I usually do is I usually do Mago 7 and I do Miralax. Because people do ask about constipation with the red meat, right? So here's my answer to that, right? I was constipated without the red meat. So it ain't that. I just use Mago 7 or Miralax. I don't use Mago 7 often. I use Mago 7 maybe once a week. Or maybe twice every now and then. And that's because of the magnesium. I do like to get that magnesium in because for some that aren't familiar with Mago 7, it's literally magnesium. And magnesium is very important and it's good that you get it. So maybe once or twice a week. But Miralax I use regularly. Pretty much like every other day I take Miralax. So, and that keeps me going. I'm the same, G's. Water or lemonade as a treat with jalapenos, as Linda's journey showed me. Jalapenos, ooh, yeah, I can't. The spices I don't do either because they sit in your stomach and they tear me up. At Jocelyn down journey, jalapenos and water, do tell, yeah. Yes, sharing a little part of her journey. Sounds great. It's not. If not, that's okay. We totally understand. Maybe that was about my wife, probably. Yeah. So I don't know if that was about her. She don't really. I mean, she just started. Like I said, she just started. This is only her second shot. You know what I mean? So she's. I mean, literally like just began the journey. And like I said, she lost 4 pounds in her first week. My wife is 5 feet tall. She's 5 feet tall. So I'm 6 feet tall. So we're a foot apart. We're a foot apart. So she wants to, obviously, also decide to jump on and get healthy with me. A proper Florentine steak will be a ribeye. I say that with love. Florentine, nah, I'm not familiar with Florentine. But as far as I know, I mean even I don't know, Michelin star chefs probably gonna vote ribeye on that. JC, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'll look into it. I'll never say never. Maybe I'll look into a proper Florentine, but like I said, even the Michelin chefs, and I mean, I've been to, I mean, it's probably a rest. I ain't a restaurant you can name. I probably ain't ate at, and I've had some of the best steaks in the world. Tomahawk hawks stood up and cut right in front of me. So, and I'm a steak connoisseur, and for me, ribeye is always, just had that best taste to me. But again, I won't until I investigate about Florentine steak. I won't say too much more. Geez, you said that you show your food, etc. to show them because so I responded, yes, show them better than you could. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. Never heard of Florentine. Yeah, me neither. I ain't never heard of Florentine steak. Italian restaurant, not American Italian. What's it? I don't know. I'll just leave that alone. The Italian restaurants with the steaks. I kind of stay away from Italian restaurants, right? Italian restaurant because Italians, to me, specialize in like the pasta. You know what I mean? And pasta is very thickening for me. You know what I mean? So I try to stay away from the whole pasta thing. I think Italians make amazing pasta, but I stick to the steakhouses for my steak. I don't really do Italian restaurants for steak. I do a steakhouse for steak. Oh, it's a porter or T-bone from a certain cattle. Okay, well, okay, all right. So porterhouse or T-bone. Yeah, so I'm still gonna say no, no. I ain't had a T-bone yet that outbeat a ribeye. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. Nah, T-bone. Nope, I'm good. I stick to my porterhouse. Yeah, but some of the porterhouse I feel could be not as marbly, like doesn't have the proper marble to get, to withhold like that flavor, like the ribeye. But I mean, maybe I'll do a steak video. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, okay, so they further explaining the jalapenos with the lemonade. Journey called it spicy strawberry sparkler, but I can't eat strawberries, so sometimes I had vodka and coin treyu. I think that's what it says. Yeah, I'm not a drinker, so I wouldn't know. Y'all lost me with the drinking because I don't drink, so I don't know nothing about. I do know names of certain drinks, stuff like that, but as far as making it and all that, no. I have had drinks in the past, but I totally just don't drink anything at this point. I saw the documentary. Oh, okay. So Anissa, you did see the documentary, but from West Philly, you already know about Mansion. If you're from Philly or near Philly, like Mansion is legendary. It's legendary. So I'm listening from Northwest Ohio. Okay, Sha. So you are going to be Central Time. So you're going to be one of those people who, when you tune into, or if you and your husband, hopefully your husband can tune in on Tuesday when we do the men's panel, where you guys will be tuning in at 8 probably. You got me singing the Ohio's players now. Oh, that's Shy. Joe says that's to Shy. Yes, I Googled. Twan said, yes, I Googled your school. Yeah, Twan, it was a mess. And like I said, I was in there in the 90s, right? The ABC special was in 2012. I was in there in the 90s, which was crazy, crazy. But most of my friends were, unfortunately, the bad guys, right? So I was okay because I was with the bad guys, you know what I mean? So I didn't really have problems, nobody really bothered me because my family were the people that either were in prison or they were the bad guys, I was a good guy, but they were the bad guys. But it was my family or affiliation to my family, so I never had any problems, except for like when I was really, really young and I first went there, and I explained that too. So go back and check out some of my videos. Y'all can hear those stories because I got a lot. Beautiful I Am Colored says, not a lawyer, but have a few degrees and work with a ton of judges. So it's interesting your family member is a lawyer there in Colorado. That's awesome. Yes. My cousin is a judge here in Pennsylvania. He is a judge in Pennsylvania, but his daughter is working at a law firm in Denver. Or Colorado. I don't want to say Denver because I don't know what part she's in. Question. What would you say what would you say is your best non-squad victory so far? Mine has been my husband and adult children noticing the change. Non-scale victory for me. Man, I want to say probably everything. You know what I mean? Like everything about it. You know, just life. You know, I don't. I personally don't like attributing my non-scale victory to the thoughts of others, right? Because this was always about me, and it's still about me because it's my journey, even though it will benefit others if I'm around longer, right? And I, obviously I enjoy, my family and other people, but their opinions aren't what I would consider, what the victory to be. My victory would be me taking control of my health and extending my life, um, and having the opportunity to extend my life to be around for my children because I think that's my responsibility to actually be healthy and be around for them as far as I can within my control, God willing. But specifically, yeah, it would be that just being able to be consistent and being able to actually educate people. You know what I mean? Educate other people and influence other people to actually start their journey and help to probably extend their life. But of course, I mean, you got things that come along with that. Feeling better, looking better, having smaller, being able to being. I'll give you one that I would say a big one for me is I can actually go to Bloomingdale's now and I can purchase my shirt off the rack, right? I can go over to Bloomingdale's and purchase my polo or whatever shirt that I'm right off the rack because I can wear an extra large, which is in the store now, right? Before I was wearing 3X. I couldn't buy it. Couldn't buy it. I had to go online, right? So now things that made it more convenient for me. I can go to the store, and I can actually purchase a shirt right from the store. So I would say that is a huge. I mean, that is major. And as far as pants too, I mean, I've always buy pants in the store, but just wearing I want to say a 36 now, that makes me have a lot more options. Okay, a lot more options. So those are victories. Muscle is the gains you want. Shy, I love me some Zep and Roger Moore bounce the ounce in that long ringtone. Hey, I'm trying to catch up. Trying to catch up because we're gonna end the live soon. I don't want to go too long, but I want to just get through everybody. That's partly why you're so bubbly. I love Shy. Yes. Hey there, listening while uploading. Yep, family from Virginia. You ate muskrat and other. Oh, muskrat. Wow, that's crazy. Five Guys. I don't like the price for one person. Yes, it is expensive, but hey, I'm just trying to be brutally honest about what I mean. That's where I get burgers. When I say tell people I eat burgers, that's where I eat burgers from. It's high quality meat. That's what I'm about. High quality protein. Yes, reminder, press the like button. Thank you. Hello, everybody. It looks gorgeous. Five Guys is the boogie. Five Guys is for the bougie, aka me. Ha! Oh, this is what Kim J said. Don't like the price either, but it is what it is. Joe says, hey, Delilah. Okay, they talking to each other. Praise God for loopholes, Greg. This is true Italian American. There's a difference. Florentine steak or traditional toucan dish, thick cut bone and porterhouse with T-bone. Yes. You haven't had this one, try it, my friend. That's why I like to choose my steaks so I can pick the most beautiful marble. Yes, the marbling is important. The marbling is important. You are, Delilah, you're definitely a steak eater. You talking about that marble because that's what I just said. The marbling is very important. I mean, Shy could be East, but I'm thinking with Ohio is possibly Central because certain parts of it could be, but maybe she is East. She might be East too. So Joe said I'm not allowed to drink Cas. Is that Casamigos? I'm not sure. Oh, because of my kidney and liver issues. Okay. So I put a drop of alcohol and only when I'm celebrating. Okay. Oh, no, I'm Eastern. Okay, Shy, you Eastern. Okay, I thought y'all might be Central. Okay. I love Ruth Chris, New York strip, or I'll make T-bone rib and ribeye at home, or eat one from Longhorn. Yep, Longhorn works. Lila, hey, non-sport victories are about what you see and feel, not someone else, unless someone else did or said something to you that made you feel good. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Delilah. That's what I said. Non-sport victory shouldn't be. Well, again, I'm sorry. I don't want to be disrespectful because if that's your non-sport victory is what you see it as. So I'll just leave it at that. But yes, you do. You don't want things to be based on other people's opinions. You know, you want to internalize that and let it be something to continue to motivate you personally, not what other people see from you. Going to a brick and mortar store to buy things off the rack is a real thing. I dare him. Yes, man. Ain't that something, man? I have not in forever gone to brick and mortar and bought nothing. And it's just, I mean, I still buy things offline, but it's just so convenient to be able to actually go in the store. I mean, I just love it. Being able to go in the store and actually buy something off the rack is just, I mean, it's so convenient, man. It's so convenient. I love it. I love it. So. Good point, Delilah. And geez, the family has all said how proud they are of me, and that indeed makes me feel very good. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You definitely want to them making you proud. The nice thing about East Texas is there is a cattle rancher at your doorstep. Get it straight from the ranch. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. You got it. You got it made. Then we don't really have that. We got to pay top dollar for the steak up here, JC. You're making me drool. I'm central though. Okay, so Delilah is central. Okay. Delilah says, one day you'll get there, Darium. I never thought I could, and yet I am. Yes, absolutely. So, all right, guys. So I don't want to actually, like I said, own the night, take your night away from you completely. I just wanted to hop in, and right now I'm going to tell you I will be live again next week. Next Sunday, probably around the same time. I will be live again, probably right around 6 p.m. So just mark your calendars. I may do a notification, but last time I did that, it went awry and people was in wrong rooms and all that. So I just like to announce it. So I'll probably do a short, but for the most part, and just to remind people. But I will be, since you guys are here now, next Sunday, I'll probably be live at 6 p.m. and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about because this is my channel, but you are the audience, and I want to bring you what you want to actually hear about, any questions that you might have. And next week we may talk a little bit more about GLP-1 news and things of that nature. Some of the stuff that's actually out there bubbling around. You know what I mean? So, there's that. So hopefully I answered all the questions that everybody, had. And I thank you all for joining me tonight. And like I always like to end all of my videos, we're in this together. Obesity warriors, stand up. Later. See y'all.